Hey everyone, welcome back. You might notice that my partner in crime, Harpy, is not here. She is asleep, at least she's supposed to be asleep. I'm looking over at her room right now. And tonight I wanted to kind of do something different, something by myself, and I wanted to play this game called The Flame and the Flood. And it's a very, very interesting game, kind of I don't know if it's post-apocalyptic or anything like that, but the whole premise of the game is that there's some kind of flood. And this flood has created this kind of river, and it looks like everything along this river has been destroyed. Buildings and all sorts of different things. You come across these things that are called docks, and the docks have different types of supplies on them. They're basically islands within these rivers. And they have different supplies, like, this really reminds me a lot of the game Raft that we played on our channel a little while back. In that you can craft items, you have to collect items from all these different locations, and it's been quite a wild ride, and you'll see why here in a second, why I call it a wild ride. But anyway, so let's just go ahead and hop in here. And you honestly know about as much as I do as far as the story is concerned. We're kind of trying to piece it together right now. That, I think, is the whole thing. We're supposed to be following these different radio transmissions and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and just hop in here and kind of, learn as we go, and, perhaps we'll have a good time doing it. At least I hope so. Anyways, so let's go ahead and jump in here. So the main protagonist here is this lady. And the art style that they have in this is very, very interesting. I've been very impressed by it, and it's just, it's got the same kind of feel as Raft, which, if you remember that game, it's the same type of, kind of cell shading almost, and all the landscapes kind of feel the same way. It's very, very bright, but when it gets dark, it gets very, very dark. And there are dangers that are just kind of looming everywhere. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and kind of explore this area that I just found here. So as you can see, there's just, broken down cars and, destroyed roads and all that kind of stuff. You pick up all sorts of different types of loot here. And one thing to note is that for some reason, these saplings are so freaking important. They're like one of the most important resources in this game that I found, because there are a lot of different things that you can build with the saplings themselves, and a lot of necessary things, like snares and spear traps, arrows, bows, all sorts of different stuff there. So it's just, very, very important resource that if you decide to play this game, definitely from the very, very get-go, make sure that you pick up all those. Alright, so I'm just going around here. The cattails are important too, but they are very abundant, so you don't have to worry about kind of, if you miss those, kind of picking those up. And definitely make sure that you loot all of the chests. And these are wolves right here, and wolves are extremely dangerous, and they'll lacerate you, which I haven't quite determined what exactly the negative effects are of those, but yeah, as you can see, they kind of swarm you. Oops, that's laceration. That doesn't feel very good. That's not very cash money there, wolves. But if you get injured, what you do is go to your afflictions tab here, and you'll see laceration. You can fix it with a bandage or a stitching kit, and that's what I did right there. Okay. So, what I can pretty much glean from that little tussle that I had with those wolves right there is that I don't want to be on this little island right here. So I'm just going to hop back into my raft, because those wolves are they're really, really difficult to kill. They take 3 arrows, I believe, from your bow, and arrows are pretty expensive. Hey, Wednesday. Arrows are pretty expensive. In fact, they cost one of those saplings that I showed you, and so yeah, arrows are expensive. Takes 3 of those. You can also kill them with a spear trap. Spear trap is even more expensive, and it's not very cost effective when it comes to killing these wolves and stuff. But still, it is very, very effective when it comes to killing them, because you don't have to really do anything. You have to just leave the trap and then go from there. And then once you kill them, you get a wolf pelt and you get raw meat, I believe. And yeah, so they're very, very valuable materials, because then you can make those into clothing, and you can cook the raw meat with campfires. All right. So right now I'm at a marina, and a marina allows you to do many things related to your raft. So right now it looks like I can only really do minor repairs and moderate repairs. You can create a repair patch, and I'll show you how to do that in a second, and that will repair more of your raft. So as you're going down the river, you have kind of the possibility of running into things. Of course, you can run into rocks, you can run into islands, you can run into debris as it's going down. There's pretty much not anything here that you cannot run into. I mean, even the water's hurt you. You'll see here in a second when the character gets the wet trait, which I think it just slows you down. I'm not sure. I'm yet to find that out, but we'll see. Oh, here we go. So whenever it starts raining, you get this wet attribute, and wet attribute says here that wet is the slow killer. In the wild, wind will cut through wet clothes, find shelter of fire to dry off. Okay, so I guess it affects maybe the temperature that you have here in the upper right-hand corner. That's your temperature gauge. Basically says, hey, your temperature might be too hot or too cold. In this case, I've got gear that enables me to be quite warm right now, so I don't have to worry too much about the cold. You can see I've got different types of, I've got jackets, pants, boots, gloves, and a hat. And all 5 of these gives me a different, different cold resistance. So I think with the wolf hide, I think it's like, plus 20, and then maybe with the boar hide, it's like plus 12 or something to that effect. But yeah. So I haven't really found anything else negative related to the wet attribute, so I'm not going to worry about it too much right now. There are 4 different types of attributes that you have that you'll see at the bottom of the screen, and they are food, water, temperature, and I guess fatigue down here at the bottom. And there are various ways to bring those up. With the hunger, what you can do is obviously eat something. You can cook raw meat, you can eat dandelions, you can do this and that. A fun little fact here is that when I was younger, I used to just pluck out the dandelions out of the ground and I would eat them. I just thought they tasted really good, So I just went ahead and did that. So, but anyways, yeah, so back to that. So hunger, you can get rid of it with that. There's also yucca. You can cook the yucca, and that's pretty cool that they have that in this game. For thirst, you have to make sure that you have clean water, okay? Because you can get dirty water, and unless you have a water filter, you can't drink it, right? So you want to make sure that you drink clean water. Also, when it's raining, I believe you can use one of the jars, and that will allow you to get clean water from the rain, which is really, really cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and consume that so that my thirst goes all the way up. It gives you hydration plus 50, which is very, very good. As far as the food's concerned, yep, cooked meat as well. You can do that. Gasoline, you don't drink gasoline. Ain't good for you. Don't do it. Aloe, that's not for eating. That's for burns and scratches and scrapes. But anyways, so the thirst can also be satisfied with teas. There is a dandelion tea, and there is a sumac tea. I think those are the only 2 teas that I found. But yeah, so those are helpful. The dandelion tea also assists with your nutrition. So 2 things that you can deal with in that case: the hunger as well as the thirst. And third, body temp. We talked about that. Body temp is pretty much governed by the clothing that you have on. There are different types of clothing. I think there's like knit clothing, which is like the bare bones. Then you got cotton. Then you've got rabbit, boar, wolf, and I'm not sure if there's anything above that. I'm sure that we'll find out here soon. And the 4th one is fatigue. All you have to do with fatigue is go to sleep. Okay, it's pretty basic there. Depending on how long you go to sleep, you can go sleep for 1 hour to 4 hours to 8 hours, and from that you can get back however much fatigue that you had. So in the case of 4 hours, I believe it's a plus 40. That kind of takes away like 40 fatigue. It's a little misleading, this gauge right here, because the more fatigued you are, obviously, the more you would benefit from resting. But yeah, so in this case, it's that's the gauge right there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and craft a repair patch, and I'm going to use that on my boat here, just so I can bring it back to kind of a comfortable place. You can see the gauge down here. It says 38 out of 110, and now I've got 78. So we're pretty good there. Oh my God, Wednesday, what are you doing? Goofball. So there are multiple upgrades you can get for your raft. Rudder, which basically allows you to steer better. The raft motor, you'll see that as we're going down, it really benefits you if you're able to move lateral instead of having to follow with the flow. So with the motor you can move laterally as opposed to having to keep going down. Sturdy frame, that makes it stronger. Stove enables you to cook food, haven't gotten that one yet. Raft shelter, that I believe protects you from rain, also enables you to sleep in the raft, I think. I might be wrong there. Raft storage, that gives you obviously more places to put things. And you'll find that if you do play this game, storage is very, very important. You run out of storage very, very quickly if you're not careful. And then lastly, water purifier. So, it's just feeling very much like Raft. It's like very much like Raft in the, with all of this stuff. Especially considering that you have a freaking raft, right? And like I said before, Raft, terrifying game. And I love Blobby. I love Blobby so much. He is a sweet boy, and the world would be a lot sadder place without him. My lovable Blobby. Ooh, look at that debris over there. Ooh. So yeah, it also kind of has a Fallout feel about it. In that it's, it feels post-apocalyptic, don't really know what's going on here. We're tracing a radio signal, which was, the main thing in Fallout. Well, one of the main things in Fallout 3 was, trying to find Three Dog. But yeah, so there's just, there's a whole, oh gosh, see, yeah, I just ran into something. That's fun. All right, what you doing there, Rich? Yeah, sweet boy. All right, let's dock here and see what's going on. I'm hoping that there aren't any wolves here, because if there are, I'm just immediately going to leave. I can't stand the guys. So let's just go ahead and travel around here. The main thing you're looking out for is resources. You can also go to shacks and stuff like that, and loot. That one didn't have anything there. You can also sleep in the shacks. That is another way of getting rid of your wet, is to sleep, or to go to, or to have a fire. There's dandelions. Most of the cars you can search. It's always going to have this kind of this animation beneath it that looks kind of like a water dropping into a puddle. Ladies and gentlemen, wet cured. Oh wow, this is a pretty big one. Ah, it's a hog or boar. Boar! Oh god. So the boars, I like them more than the wolves, because you can evade these guys. You really can't evade the wolves. But when the boar kind of starts rearing, you can go ahead and take care of him. But the boar, it's very effective against him is the spear trap, and I don't know if I have a spear trap, so I might have to improvise. Oh man, my dog took care of him. Yeah, blocked by my dog. My dog. Looks like he's protecting this little area here. He must not be able to get past this barrier right here. So let me find within my inventory. I might have the spear trap. Okay, I do. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the spear trap using the 3 key, which brings open this menu over here on the left. There's 1, 2, 3, and 3 has kind of all of your camping and that sort of thing, and murdering boars. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and build the trap here, and then I'm going to lure the boar towards it, and we're going to take care of him. And there you go. Alright, search him. He's got raw meat and a boar hide. Most importantly, he's not going to bother me anymore. So, let's keep going along. Ah, it's a liquor store, that's right. Oh, you know, this is funny too, is that these ravens, I think the ravens are up here. Oh my god, what is going on here? You can shoo them, like that. And then when you shoo them, they leave behind their feathers. That's cool. Yep, she just goes, wah! And they leave. Gonna get all this booze. Feathers are necessary for making arrows. I think that's the only use for them from what I found anyway. Another jar and some jerky. You know, we need a name for the wolves in this. I'm gonna think on it. Rags are good for bandages. And one thing that I'm not happy about is the fact that I don't see any saplings anywhere. And saplings, like I mentioned, are probably the most important resource in this game. So yeah, I think that will do it for this place. So here is the inventory. There is... it's very important for you to manage it well, because it can get unruly very quickly. Like right now I've only got 28 slots and those are all full up. So what I like to do is I can either make like the different types of clothing with these hides and stuff, or I'm just going to go ahead and move these to raft, because I do have some room in here for those, as well as all these raft schematics and everything like that. So I can get those on over there. Another thing to mention is that the meat can go bad, which is a good thing. I like that it is immersive like that. So make sure that you cook it quickly and eat it quickly, because it'll spoil after a few days. Also, that was really cute. Like, you throw your stick, cane, walking stick, bow. Oh god. You see, it's really easy to just run into things. But what I used right there was my engine to be able to go laterally against the flow, which was nice. Alright, so let's try to find a place to stay for the night. Oh, here's a quest cache, which is in a mailbox. You can get different types of goals here, and they're relatively mundane tasks. Like there's one that says, you know, you need to splint if you get a broken bone. There's one like where you need to apply aloe to a burn or something like that, and then you get like, yeah, just these pretty, you get these little things here. Like I got a repair patch, I got a stitching kit from previous challenges that I did. Oh, sapling! Yes. Gotta get more of those. Got him. Right, Hayden. Oh, use fire. Okay, you can light a fire with dry tinder. Yep. And it cures your wet. If you got a problem with wet, make a fire. So, multiple things you can do with the fire that you cannot do with anything else is make different types of teas. Like I can make the sumac tea, which will, if I get sick, if I get poisoned, I think that helps with it. So it's very, very helpful. Spear trap, obviously, very helpful. But yeah, so you can make cooked meat, So we'll do that. And then we'll also do, since I'm in desperate need of repair patches like all of the time, I'm going to get another repair patch. That's from old lumber and that. And I'm going to make a raft frame and raft hardware that allow me to upgrade my raft. The one thing that I really want to get is, I believe it's called the Devil's Trumpet, I think. And the Devil's Trumpet allows you to, oh, there it is! So what this allows you to do is make a tainted bait. And tainted bait will, I think one of them can kill 2 wolves. So it's extremely important to pick up. Alright, if you see mounds like this, that's from rabbits. So you can put a trap or a snare over this right here and you'll catch a rabbit. And rabbit stuff, I believe, is the pelts are important for crafting with a workbench. Alright. Mulberries I don't really care about. Yucca I don't care about too much because I've got other sources of food. Saplings I really care about. Nuts and bolts and nuts and bolts and nuts and bolts. So, at the next one, I am going to sleep. So this is a little scary because I honestly, I don't know how I'm going to fit through this area here. Oh, God. Oh, I did it. Oh, looks like there's a fishery over here. I wonder what that's all about. I think it's the first time I've seen that. All right, let's go lateral with our motor. We can go up like this. I love the motor. Okay. All right. Well, this is a new for me too, guys. Let's see what it is. Okay. All right. We got bolts. We got saplings. We got saplings. Oh, we got 3 of them. Wow. That's a lot. Oh. You might not be able to see them, but like these little red things here that keep crawling across the ground. Yeah, those are ants. If you step on them, they bite you. And I forget what they give you, but it's not anything good. They don't give you a tip or anything like that. No, not good. All right, fish hook, fishing line, and opening is a misnomer because you don't really, you don't really go in there. It's like some old lumber in there, and you can also go to sleep. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So, 4 hours seems like enough. Maybe 5. Let's do 5. We'll sleep. Sleeping increases your thirst and your hunger. So, keep that in mind if you want to sleep for a very long time, which is like what I want to do right now because it's midnight. Yeah. So, I think that will do it for tonight. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Next time, we'll probably have Harper to join us, of course. If you enjoyed this type of game, then please let me know so that I can play more of them. Make sure that you leave a like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye!